Leafy is here. You were accused of using your fellow YouTuber for personal gain, creating content that goes against YouTube community guidelines, failing to credit those whose content you have used in your videos, and claiming said content as your own. It's judgment time. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Matty K, Chunky Monkey Games, and welcome back to this show that I like to call Judgment Time, the show where we take a look at the recent happenings of the internet and determine if somebody is innocent or guilty. In the last episode I said I wouldn't be sharing my opinion in this series, but what I think I'm going to start doing is do what Philip DeFranco does, which is present the facts with no bias, and then give my opinion afterwards. So let me know in the comments what you prefer, opinions or no. Anyways, today's accused is the internet personality known as Leafy is here, but we'll just call him Leafy. Recently, a lot of things have come out regarding what Leafy is like behind the scenes, as well as the ongoing debate of if he is considered a bully. So we'll find out all that and more on today's episode of Judgment Time. Let's get right into it. For those who are somehow unaware, Leafy is a YouTuber with almost 5 million subscribers. He started off in about 2012 as a standard commentary channel where he simply gave his thoughts with gameplay playing in the background, but has since evolved into more of a reaction channel where he takes a look at strange, popular, or downright cringy videos and jokes about them. His fanbase is very loyal, taking anything that could potentially be meme material and beating the joke to death, with some examples being the Reptilian Army or his character Femi making fun of feminism. However, some other YouTubers known as HeyWatchYourMouth and Elvis the Alien have recently come out and said publicly that Leafy has supposedly used them in order to benefit himself. So let's take a look. On October 2nd, 2016, the YouTuber known as HeyWatchYourMouth, or Nick for the sake of this video, uploaded a video titled The Real Leafy is Here, in which he talks about his experiences of working with Leafy. He claims that Leafy did very little to compensate him for his 4 to 5 hours of work, only receiving about $50 and a link in Leafy's description. If you do out the math, that's not much more than the federal minimum wage. The money is more of a principle thing and isn't my or anyone else's business, but Leafy's lack of credit for Nick's work is where the real issue lies. Since Leafy did not credit Nick in any way, then Nick has a legal right to sue Leafy for failure to compensate. This is very similar to the Sausage Party situation, where many of the animators were mistreated, overworked, uncredited, and not compensated for their work. There is a huge debacle of if this is legally allowed, but regardless, both the Leafy situation and the Sausage Party situation are morally wrong and are quite similar. Nick may also have the right to call out Leafy on copyright infringement because Leafy never credited him and also claimed Nick's work as his own, as seen by some of the tweets of Leafy's timeline, with those cold opens having no editing, meaning that he did not make them himself. It's safe to say that there's nothing Leafy can do on this front. Leafy has also been labeled as a cyberbully in recent times. Ever since H3H3 made the video titled The Leafy Rant, Leafy has been getting lots of flack for being a toxic or cyberbully channel, and there is actually substantial evidence supporting these claims. One of the most popular examples is how Leafy often makes videos on easy targets, such as young children and the disabled. These claims are true, but only somewhat. For example, Leafy has made several videos on Misha, best known for the Pokemon Go song. The kid is very young and not exactly capable of taking criticism. Some of the things Leafy says about Misha in these videos include making fun of his dance moves and lyrics, which can fall under criticism, but he also makes fun of his physical appearance, which is not really a good thing to do to a kid at that age. He may not be emotionally developed enough to take a joke against himself like that. This can also apply to all the Musical.ly kids he has made videos on, where he makes fun of the creative choices of the music videos, but not necessarily the kids themselves. As far as the Leafy makes fun of the disabled argument, it doesn't exactly hold up as well as some other points. While Leafy has made videos about the disabled, it was never because they were disabled. He has never said anything like, quote, "I hate this guy because he has autism," but has instead made fun of their clothes or mannerisms. If you recall the video that caused H3H3 to make the Leafy Rant, where Leafy made a reaction video to Tommy NC 2010, then you know that Leafy didn't intend to offend the guy, but his fans took the idea and ran with it, sending the man death threats. This is honestly a subjective topic in that it depends on where you stand on ableism, but because Leafy didn't know that Tommy was autistic, and by extension didn't mock him because he was autistic, then I say he gets a pass just this once. Most of the time, when Leafy has made fun of somebody with a disability, he either doesn't know about said disability or just doesn't comment on it. This includes that clip that iDub showed in his content cop where Leafy asks,
"Yo, is this person fucking retarded?" I'm not trying to be a dick. Like, I really can't tell. Like, I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's obvious." I honestly have no idea.
But it could be argued that it was a legitimate question, just worded very poorly. I am not at all condoning making fun of the disabled, and feel bad for anyone who was offended by Leafy's comments, but I will reveal more about this in the opinions section. As for how YouTube sees this, they don't. We all know that YouTube doesn't work the way it's supposed to, but that doesn't excuse the fact that Leafy's videos on kids and the disabled don't exactly agree with YouTube's community guidelines. Community guidelines state that harassment or hateful content, as YouTube puts it, is not tolerated. If we dig a little deeper, we can see that YouTube defines hate speech as, quote, referring to content that promotes violence or hatred against individuals or groups based on certain attributes such as race or ethnic origin, religion, disability, gender, age, veteran status, sexual orientation/gender identity. There is a fine line between what is and is not considered to be hate speech. For instance, it is generally okay to criticize a nation state, but not okay to post malicious hateful comments about a group of people solely based on their ethnicity. Now, Leafy's jokes don't necessarily promote violence or hatred of others at face value, but his fans tend to take things way out of proportion, as seen as in the Tommy and C situation, but his content can also be considered harassment by those he is making fun of. For example, if Jacob Sartorius was offended by one of Leafy's videos about him, then he can claim it to be harassment and get the video taken down. The other elephant in the room when it comes to Leafy and community guidelines is the policies against spam and misleading metadata, which is a fancy way of saying clickbait. Now, clickbait is its own video entirely, simply because most people don't actually know what clickbait is, but in the context of today's video, it's basically what Leafy does. His titles vary from somewhat misleading to extremely misleading. An example of minor clickbait would be this video called "The Pokemon Go Kid Makes Diss Track Roasting Me," then puts other YouTubers' names in the title. This isn't that bad because, while it's a little out of hand, it's still relevant to the video itself. An example of a very misleading clickbait would be the video titled "My Channel is Getting Shut Down," when it really wasn't. This title strays so far from the actual content of the video that it should be frowned upon. That would be like if I titled this video, "Literally Destroying Leafy's Channel Gets Shut Down." That's extremely misleading because this video isn't in a joking manner and is not likely to have any real impact on anything. Now on to the opinion section of the video where I give my thoughts. If you want to skip straight to the verdict, then click on this annotation or go to the timestamps that's somewhere on the screen and it'll take you straight there. You can skip all the opinions and stuff. It'll be a swell time. The way I'm going to structure this is that I'm going to go through the points that I've already made in the video and give my thoughts on them, kind of like what actual judges do. Real life judges take the facts and then give their opinionated judgment based on them, so that's what I'm going to be doing here. Now, I used to like Leafy. A lot of his earlier videos were pretty good and actually somewhat funny, but nowadays they are so unfunny and I could basically predict what he's gonna say before he says it. He can occasionally be funny now, but his videos don't have the same charm as they did. I can see why he changed it up, but it just no longer appeals to me. As for the "Hey Watch Your Mouth" situation, I don't really have a side, but if what Nick is saying is indeed true, then it shows that Leafy is either a really scummy guy or just that socially unaware. If you have someone do something for you, it's a show of appreciation and thanks to give them something in return, such as money, or in Nick's case, all he wanted was a shout out. I personally don't think that Leafy is a cyberbully, I just think he's a bit misunderstood. I don't think that he ever meant to offend anybody, but he clearly doesn't think about what he says before he says it. Take the Tommy situation for example. He supposedly didn't know that Tommy was autistic and never commented on anything regarding a mental disability in that video, so I think that Leafy was simply ignorant. As for some of his other videos that have people with disabilities, it's hard to say the same. For example, Leafy once made fun of a vlogger who had a learning disability, saying most notably that he, quote, went through 5 different strokes. It doesn't matter if you know if he has a disability or not. It's not okay to comment on someone's appearance like that, especially if they may very well be insecure about it. It's just not okay. I don't think Leafy was ever trying to be malicious, but I think he's just that socially inept, that he doesn't know not to make fun of people. Leafy's like that one kid in high school who thinks he's an absolute savage and has no problem being mean to people, but when someone is mean back to him, he cowers and apologizes. Here's a reenactment.
Hey you, kill yourself.
What was that?
Oh,
sorry, man. I also wanted to take a bit of time to talk about the iDubbbz video. iDubbbz made a lot of good points in that video about how Leafy pleads ignorance as to not seem like a jerk, the annoyingly long transitions, the usage of age as a defense, the repetition, and of course the no chin joke. The only thing that Leafy did in response to this video was insist that he isn't insecure about himself, talked about the transition slides comment and how it's a quote-unquote bad criticism, even though he took said criticism, and took the no chin joke as a main point of the video and spent the rest of the time roasting him as a sad attempt at refuting iDubbbz's well thought out points. Leafy is so engulfed in roast culture that he literally, use that correctly by the way, can't make a competent point anymore. I'll say that some of Leafy's rant videos, such as some of the Keemstar ones, had some decent points and just weren't worded very eloquently, but his response to iDubbbz was, "Yo, look at this dude, he's got a big forehead," which is just laughable. What Leafy does is take everything as a joke. He's incapable of taking legitimate criticism, which is essentially what iDubbbz is saying in this video. I think Leafy could have and still can redeem himself to make his content less insufferable, but as of right now, he doesn't have much going for him. Now that we've determined what Leafy has done and what kind of person he is, it's time for a final decision. It's judgment time. It's very obvious that Leafy does not understand basic social constructs such as showing appreciation for someone's work, but he also refused to compensate them, which is a legal offense. Not to mention the many cyberbullying accusations that, even if they weren't done maliciously, are socially not okay to do. Leafy is very socially inept and does not seem to show any remorse for whom he may have offended. There is no legal punishment for doing such a thing, but he can definitely have videos taken down by those who he has targeted, which can result in a community guideline strike on the grounds of harassment. He can also, and this is a bit of a stretch, be fined for refusing to compensate someone who has worked for him. With that said, Leafy gets the sentence of community guideline strike and potential fine. The only way Leafy can make this right is to give Nick, aka HeyWatchYourMouth, compensation for his contributions to his channel, unlist or remove any videos targeting anybody who may be disabled or too young to understand criticism, issue a genuine apology to anyone who he has wronged, and take the criticism that iDubbbz and other YouTubers have given him because it will certainly make his content a lot better. By the looks of things, he's already on track to becoming a slightly better person as he already apologized to Nick as I was making this video.
This has been Judgment Time. If you have anything you'd like to add to the discussion, please leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep your opinions close, but the facts closer. Peace out.